Hi everybody, I am going to now review you for your science test. But before you do your science test, you have to do the last lesson in your book on page 525. It looks like this. I'll show you. It is what are behavior adaptations, and you need to on your own or your parents help you. You can read page 525. Remember to look at the yellow words because they're the most important. I'll move it over there so you can see it. And I'll review you in just a minute. Okay, learned behaviors between the difference between learned behaviors are seeing somebody do it or somebody telling you how to do it and show you how to do it, and then you know how to do it. And instinct is you already know how to do it without learning it. That's the difference between those. Okay, so you're going to read this whole chapter or unit lesson, I should say. You're going to use these words right here to fill in the puzzle. That should be easy for you. On page 536, I just told you the answer to this one. How are instincts and learned behaviors the same? And what's different? So one thing, how are they the same? And one thing, how they're different. Now you're going to look at these photos, and all these photos are actually in your lesson. And you're going to write how each function helps the animal survive. So if you want to find this one right here, you go back to where it is in that lesson. And it is right here. And how does it help that animal? How each function helps the animal survive. So what is it doing to help the animal survive? It's going to be somewhere on this paper as your answer. Okay, the second one is the little gopher. He's right here. What does he do to help him survive? The third picture is this one. So you go find that picture. Here it is right here. What function does it do to help it survive? It goes with the picture. Remember, the caption will probably tell you the answer. And the last one is this. And it does go in, well, I thought it went in order. Here it is. You go back one page. Okay. And it's going to be somewhere on this page. What function helps this picture survive? Okay. So they're all in there. You just got to find your answers. Now I'm going to review you for the actual, we're using the review as the test. You only have to do 1 through 16. So on 1 through 5, here's the 5 words: adaptation, behavior, germinate, life cycle, and metamorphosis. Use these 5 to go with these sentences. 6, and you go all the way to 16. You do not have to do the page on the back. Okay, so it's 1 through 16, and it is multiple choice. So let's go to the very beginning, and I'm going to review you for your test. And you can look up your answers as well. So it's like an open book test. So it starts on page 485. Remember, the yellow words are the most important part. So it says, what are some plant life cycles? And we talked, it starts off a seed right here. And then it grows a little bit to a seedling, pops out of the ground. It makes an adult plant. It blooms into a flower, and then the flower makes the seeds again, and the fruit, and inside the fruit is the seeds again, and then it starts back over. It's the life cycle. Okay? Germinates is when it breaks open. Reproduces, make more. Pollen is the yellow stuff that's on the flower that reproduces the flowers and makes more. Pollination happens when pollen's moved from the male plant part to the female. It has to go from one to the other. How does it do this? By wind or by birds. They carry the seeds from one place to another. Water also can carry the seeds to one place to another. So wind, water, or birds or other animals. Okay. Spores are reproductive structures that can grow into new plants. Here's a picture. It forms small groups on the bottom of it, and it contains hundreds of spores. An example could be like mosses. What are some animal life cycles? Right here's the pictures. It could go from eggs to a young chick to an adult, and then it starts back over. Okay, and if it doesn't start with an egg, it could just start with a little newborn animal, and then it gets bigger to an adult and then has more. Metamorphosis is the actual major change in the body of an animal during its life cycle. So here's an example right here. There's eggs, doesn't look like the adults at all, turns into a tadpole, which is an immature frog, still does not look like a frog. It has a tail. Then it grows hind legs, the tail's still there. Then it grows front legs, the tail's still there. Then the tail is disappears, and then it's an adult frog. So the metamorphosis is a complete change, major change in the body of an animal. Here's the insect's life cycle. Most insects, ladybugs, like butterflies, go through the complete metamorphosis. So here's a ladybug. It has the eggs. It does not look like the adult form. Larva is the next stage, then pupa, then adult. Same thing with grasshoppers. The eggs do not look like grasshoppers. It goes to a nymph. And this is a young grasshopper. And then it grows even more, and then to an adult. So these are the stages of the life cycle. The way they change, let me go back to the grasshopper. The way they change, it changes a lot from the eggs to the nymph, but then from the nymph, the young, it doesn't change that much more. But from the lady, so it's incomplete metamorphosis down here. So this is a complete metamorphosis where it still does not look like the adult. So this one's complete. It does not look like the adult until the very end. And then the incomplete, it looks like the adult here, but it's still growing into an adult. That's the difference. Inherited traits. What did you get from your parents? Maybe you have the same color hair, the eyes, you look like your mom or you look like your dad. That's the traits. Okay? Inherited comes from your parents. It's passed down. Structure adaptations is what do animals have to help them survive? Maybe this right here has a big beak to scoop down and catch the fish. Adaptation, yellow word, it's important. It's a trait that helps a living thing survive. How? Well, dolphins have blowholes on their head. It allows them to come to the surface and breathe air without having to come out of the water. So they just use the blowhole instead of the whole thing. Okay? Flat teeth allows it to grind grass. Tigers have sharp teeth to tear apart the animals that they eat easier. Okay, the jackrabbit lives in the deserts. Its long ears contain many blood vessels that help remove heat from its body. And the jackrabbit keeps cool. And this one, less heat escapes from its small ears from the larger ears of other rabbits, and its small ears help it stay warm in the cold. So, structures are what the animals have that helps it survive. Staying safe, porcupines. Okay, the quills help it stay safe and from the other predators. The smell of a skunk has a bad odor, and it's its defense against predators. And the caterpillar tastes bad, so the birds won't eat it. And the stripes on the caterpillar tell the birds, warning, do not come eat me, I taste bad. This looks scary, so when it opens its jaws, it frightens the other predators away. Camouflage. Camouflage means you can't see it in its environment. It disguises itself. It's hiding. Mimicry. It's imitating the look of another animal, like this right here. They look the same. One's a monarch, the other one's viceroy, but they look the same. Okay? So this is camouflage. It's hard to see the leopard against the rocks because they're the same color. This one is camouflage also. It's hard to see the mantis against the flower. Mimicry, they look the same, but they're different. This one to me looks like camouflage. The frogfish can look like a rock or a sponge. It can look like algae. They try to rest on the rock, and others try to eat the algae, and the frogfish traps them and eats them. What do plants need to survive? The pictures show you a lot. So the picture and the caption. The caption's what the picture's about. Pitcher plants can't get the nutrients they need from the soil. The plant pitchers hold water and trap insects for food. The sides are slippery, so when the insects fall into the pitchers, they can't get out. The insects are digested, providing nutrients to the plant. Blackberries taste bitter until they are ripe, and the bitter taste is an adaptation. It stops animals from eating the berries before the seeds are old enough to produce new plants. It's amazing how all this works. And the stone plant blends into the background of the rocks and stones. If it blends in, it's like camouflage. Grazing animals don't see it, and camouflage keeps it from being eaten. And the last chapter that you're doing this week, behavior adaptation. Behavior is how you act. Behavior is anything that an organism does. Learned comes from watching other animals or through different experiences. Instinct means you already know how to do it without learning it. Animals are born with instincts. They already know what to do on some things, not all things. Let's see. A mother lion teaches her cubs to hunt. So that's a learned behavior if they teach them. Searching for food is an instinct. They already know how to find food. Instinct, you already know how to do. Learn, you're taught. Okay? Knowing how to find and catch food is something cubs learned, copying their parents. Okay. Just a couple more. I'm not going to go through all these. A chimpanzee isn't born knowing how to use a tool. It learns the behavior by watching others, and sometimes a chimp may figure it out on its own. Instinct, you already know how to do it, is to use moonlight to find its way. That's why moths are attracted to porch light. They know to go toward the light. Finding food. This is a picture on the back of your lesson. What function does it use? How did the archer fish know how to get food from above the water? The fish instinctively, that means they already know how to do it, shoots water at insects in the air to catch them. So they shoot the water out at the insects in the air, and it catches the insects. So this is an adaptation to catch its food. So read all of this and the captions. That's very, very important. This is another one. What does it use? What function does it use to finding shelter? Here was another one on the back of the book. This is probably your answer. And this is another one on the back of your section. Migrating, when they move a long distance from one place to another. Migrating, like butterflies when they migrate to the south when it gets really cold here, and then they come back when it gets warm here. Okay. This right here is going to be for a test grade 1 through 16. Look up your answers in your book and go slow, and good luck. I believe in you. You'll do great. Till next time. Love ya.